Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jason.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're like out of practice.
I know, exactly. We're even the comedy relief in the green room was so much fun that we almost forgot to start the meetup. Sorry, guys.
Glad I could provide comedic relief. I was the one. It was me.
Yes, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy 2026,
It is
apparently.
2026, isn't it?
Yep, that's what I hear.
What's one thing new in your life?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Um, One thing, the flu has taken my household this week. That's new.
Okay.
Yeah. Two out of three kids down for the count. So they're very happy to be having like an extra week of winter break because they really didn't make it back to school this week. We made an attempt. It was an unsuccessful attempt. So that's new and unfortunate. And it hasn't gotten me yet. I literally wore gloves, Jason, to disinfect my house the other day, like plastic gloves, like rubber gloves. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, Happy New
That
Year.
is the best note I can offer. I promise
Yes.
you.
Yes. Well, I hope everyone's better soon. So let's get started. We have an amazing show today. We have an amazing guest. For those of you new, welcome to 2026. This is something that Jess and I have been doing 289 episodes now in a row, with some time off for holidays and things like that. So it's great to be with you. If anyone's new, please identify yourself. We're not going to do any hazing today or anything
Not
like that, but
counting
it'd be
AI
great.
assistants. I see some new
Yeah,
AI assistants.
yeah, this is truly human machine teaming. We've got a lot of AI assistants here. What happens when you go to a concert and all you have are a bunch of AI assistants in the crowd?
Oh, please don't.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Beth and Liz.
I love it for
I
the first
love new P
time
and Richard.
ever.
Very
Oh my
nice.
goodness.
Very, very nice. Yes.
Good group today.
Leah's here. Beth from Montreal.
Hmm.
You're there's Alicia on video.
Sorry, I don't know why.
Alicia's today.
Alicia, Happy New Year. Um, Mary Kate is new. Now,
Aw.
for all of you guys that are new, you're like, oh, this is a real top production. Thanks to Alicia, just jumping in like that. Alicia is one of our amazing executive producers who just wanted to be seen, I guess, in 2026. So, welcome.
Love it.
So we always start the same way, guys. Green, yellow, red. Green, you're great. Yellow, so-so. Red, not so good. How is everyone? How is everyone? And
Mm.
we've got some regulars, so we've got some people already jumping in with green and a cautious green. Um, we've got
Wow.
we've got a green bean. We've got some yellows, fairly green, light green, green heart. Oh,
Mm.
Deb McGrath is here. I got an email from Deb McGrath yesterday, just so you know. I shouldn't be
Mhm.
saying, well, I'm not going to say anything about the
Well,
email.
I know.
But
Now I'm jealous.
Well,
Deb,
no, but I got so happy. Like I saw her name and I was like, shit, holy cow. I'm so excited. Anyway, it was nice to see her name.
hmm.
Um, for those of you that don't know Deb McGrath, by the way, this is not the way well, we're right in the middle of the green, yellow, red. But now
Hmm.
that I said her name, Deb is the founder and owner of HR.com.
Hmm.
So
Massive community. Like the fact that she joins
think
ours.
about the domain of HR.com when someone was buying domains back in the day.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
somehow she got HR.com. Uh,
Yeah.
so anyway, I just thought when I got her email, I was like, oh, here's Deb. Anyway, I love to see some greens, yellows. We have a few yellows. There was a red that orange, Tilly. Sorry to
She
hear.
had to buy it, Jason. Did you see that?
I did not see
Today.
that. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Jackie. Jackie red. Um, Jackie, is there anything we can do? Please let me know. John decided to put our that's our new domain we're supposed to buy, I guess.
I love it.
Jess. Jackie, there's my cell phone number. If you want to text me, I'm happy to talk. Um, Sorry that you're red. But if there's anything we can do, please let us know. Yes, Jess, fellow Canadian. Deb is a fellow Canadian. Heather, let's make you green. What can we do to make Heather green? Jess, how are you?
I'm red.
Do you see? Sorry. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'm not laughing. Okay, I hold on. That I have to do a little bit of explanation.
Okay.
So I already knew how you were, unfortunately, before I asked the question, and then I asked the question like I always do, and then I went like that, because I was afraid of what you were going to say, and that's why I started laughing. So I was not laughing because you were red. I apologize. That was
I
very
mean, I don't pull many punches.
true.
So, yeah, I mean, I want to say thank you to lots of you, including some of you in the audience who have checked in, knowing that Jason and I are both based in Minneapolis, and Minneapolis is a damn mess right now. So I'm red. My kids are red. Minneapolis is red. It's pretty awful. It's pretty awful. A lot of scared people, a lot of chaos, a lot of distress, disturbance. My kids are afraid to go to school. Their morning announcements include ICE protocol. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. And I'm pulling no punches. There's nothing good about what's happening in Minneapolis right now. So there we go. But here we are, community.
Yes.
Yeah, ICE protocol, meaning like what to do if they come on campus. They do have access to public places. What to do if they approach you, how to interact, how to disengage. ICE protocol, much like fire drill protocol, school shooting protocol, unfortunately. Now it's ICE protocol. I didn't even go to Target last night because they're everywhere. That's the state of Minneapolis. For those of you who have asked, that's the state of Minneapolis. I got a text from my 14-year-old yesterday. I think they're here, meaning in my school. They weren't, they were at the next door school. But that's the fear. That's the constant anxiety, fear, rumors spread fast, things turn ugly fast. It's just a lot of chaos. It's very hard to navigate. It's very hard to navigate.
Yeah. Thank you for doing great. You're going to do a much better job of saying how you feel about it than I'm going to. I'm the same. I'm the same way. I feel the same way about it. I'm constantly trying to, for people that know me, I'm trying to look for the positives, not in this specific situation, but there are other positives going on in the world as well. But at the moment, it feels it feels pretty down. So, but we've gotten through things before. We'll unfortunately get through this, but it is going to leave a scar, for sure. And it's going to be a scar that we're going to, be taken care of, for a while. And unfortunately, I'm hoping that Minneapolis can set a standard that the rest of the country can follow when and if this spreads to other parts of the country.
Yeah.
I was on a flight earlier this morning. I was watching something that happened in Portland last night as well. So I know that Portland's going through it, and there are other parts of the country that are going through it as well. And for those of you that are outside the United States, I was on a call a couple hours ago with a great client of ours in Germany, who they're like, "Oh, we don't understand what's going on there." I'm like, yeah, we don't either. Like, we're not. I mean, we do, but yeah, it's all hard to watch. So anyway, let's not take our whole show of that because we have a lot to there's a lot of other
Totally.
things that we want
Yeah,
to.
fortunately or unfortunately, life goes on, and I do think that's the best we can do for each other is just be kind, and continue to form community. I love the comment, look for the helpers. Yeah, I mean, we are all still moving around in Minneapolis and trying to go about our days, and the most you can do is just see each other and be kind to each other and have empathy. Empathy is a superpower. Have some freaking empathy, and know that depending on who you are and where you live, and unfortunately your demographic profile, like some people are really, really seriously living in fear. And so just be gentle with each other. I'm not speaking just to fellow Minneapolitans. I mean, that's sort of the beautiful silver lining of this is that I've never seen so much kindness and empathy. Minneapolis knows how to turn out. That's kind of why this is happening. We know how to turn out for one another. And so this is the moment to keep being human and humane with each other. So not a better place to be than a community like this. That's all I can say.
I will share one thing really quickly that and this will be going to the one big thing segment. I did start a new class last night
Yay!
in Charleston, South Carolina next semester, and I do have to say that when I said I'm from Minneapolis, the number of students, which is 26, that said amazing things that were a couple, there were a couple that were crying.
Mm.
Um, but that said amazing things about Minneapolis and things like that. Not just about the city, but about what was going through made me feel really good. And then just to get off that topic, uh, I'm so amazed at 20 to 25-year-olds right now,
Oh, I
for the
know.
most part. I just think they're brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's not, I'm sorry, there's probably 27, 28, 29, there's probably 16. Sorry, JC. There's probably 16, 7, 15, but there's a lot of good. There's a lot of people doing a lot of good things and a lot of freaking smart people that want to make the world a great place. So while we watch out for some of the other stuff going on in the world, I have to say I left last night feeling very, very positive about the future of people,
Hmm.
even though they're getting forced to see a bunch of stuff that's unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
Do
gonna
you have
throw
a one big thing besides your hair
no.
looking the way it looks?
You're teasing me about my hair. Okay, you
I
guys.
am not teasing you about your hair. You were teasing yourself about your hair in the green room.
Well, I had to sneak in a hair appointment this morning, which was unfortunate timing. I know you guys. See, we still have first world problems, apparently, like me trying to sneak in a hair appointment. I
Well, can you
literally,
just say the quote you said? Because we're just gonna make this a little fun before we bring on our
I
guest.
don't
The
remember
quote.
what I said. I said, how terrible is it when your
I'm
hair
sure that no, say what you said. You said, I'm sure you can relate
Oh
that
yeah,
your hairdresser decides to move to New Jersey.
right.
I'm like, oh yeah, of course I can relate to the fact that my hairdresser decides to move to New Jersey. No, I can't relate to that. My
No.
hairdresser has never decided to move to New Jersey.
And then she just like out
Look at Rachel said he doesn't get it.
he doesn't get it. I know, Rachel. And then I have to get like a random text like, "Oh, I have a little bit of time for you," when she happens to be in town. I'm like, I move mountains to go see Gina, and then I fly in 3 minutes before our meetup with no makeup and gym clothes, and here I am. This is how real we are.
How many of you can relate? How many of you can relate to the fact that your hairdresser moved to New Jersey?
See? And you literally move mountains because she finds an hour for you.
Oh
See?
my gosh, look at this.
I
Oh my
told you.
gosh, okay. I'm very sorry. I've completely offended everyone
And
now.
now it's too slippery because it's like freshly dried and it's still wet in the back. And yeah.
Okay, I can completely relate, Jess. Is that your one big thing that you want to talk about before
Sure.
we
Oh
bring
my
in your
God. I will
guest?
take any other one big thing this week. I said, sure, I'll take that one.
Okay. Okay, good. Tammy loves your hair.
Thank you, Tammy.
What did you say in the green room? You said it was slippery?
Too slippery. Yeah, there's no product in it. It's going to keep falling in my face.
slippery. It's slippery. Okay, speaking of slippery, enough of that. Let's bring on our guest. Why everyone's here, not for us.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait. I'll let you do the honors, Jess.
See, I told you. Oh, thank you, John. I told you Julie's got fans. She's already got fans who can't wait for her to come on. I'm pretty sure I chased Julie around UKG Aspire. Like, when are you coming on my show? Right, Julie?
Well, yeah, I have a problem with hairdressers. We need to talk about this. So I travel a lot, like you, Jess, and
Yeah.
I have gotten to a point, for many, many years when I worked in HR in a desk job, I had a person. She was amazing. Her name was Tina. Shout out Tina. And I finally I just can't go to her because I'm not here enough here in Maryland. And I find these stylists who I love when they cut my hair. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to be back in Sarasota for, I don't know when. Do I need to fly to Sarasota to get my hair cut? And this morning, I am not kidding, this conversation, I had that thought as I was doing my hair. I'm like, wow, when could I get to Sarasota?
When you find yourself finding business reasons to be there, you will know you're sunk.
If anybody needs a speaker in Sarasota.
Yes, there must be a chapter of something there.
I mean, listen, my girlfriend's parents live there, so I have a reason, but I don't really have a reason.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a first world problem. And I love that. I love this discussion. I've been listening in, and I think that it's so important that in this time, right, we have conversations like this, right? We all do come together because I think there's power, and I think there's vibes, right? When you get around people who are kind, and we all just want to. I just want to be kind to each other.
I love the vibes.
I got a vibe the whole time you guys were talking. I'm like, please bring me on. I want to talk. But that's a me problem. But anyway, to everybody that's here, and to you, Jason and Jess, thank you so much for having me on, and excited to have this conversation. Understanding the background that you, especially you too, those in Minneapolis are living in, and then collectively, globally. Just that, we're stress doesn't go away when we log on, right? These things don't just magically leave when you say, okay, well, I got my 9 to 5 now, so I can't be thinking about any of this. And maybe for some people it's a good break. I know for me it is, but you still get the notifications, right? Mm-hmm. You still get the other things that are around that remind you of what's going on. So anyway, I digress. I'm happy to be here and really looking forward to the conversation, all the while knowing that things are heavy for everyone.
Yeah. So appreciate you. Will you give everybody who doesn't already know they should be your fan and follower, like a little bit of an intro to who you are and the role you play at UKG, and just where in the world you are, and like your story.
Yeah, well, I live in Maryland.
Julia, just before while you're doing that,
yeah,
out of all of the guests I think we've had on in 289 shows, you've smiled more in 2 minutes that you've been on than anyone else.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Which I just think is amazing. And I'm curious as to how do you do that? Like, what's that? Where does that come from? Because it's beautiful.
I love what I do. And I love having conversations like this. And even through difficult times, when it comes to work and all the things you have to deal with and everything, when I have the opportunity to get around, again, like-minded people and have discussions about making work better, it makes me genuinely happy. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, this is me. And Jess will tell you that. She sees me, at conferences and everything. When I'm on stage, speaking, my Whoop thinks that I'm working out because I'm so animated.
Aww.
I know.
Mine does too, Julie. That is so funny. And I'm in a community with my 2 kids, and they're like, "There's no way your strain was 12.2. You didn't do anything." I'm like, "Yeah, I did."
Yeah, and then I somehow convince myself that means I don't have to exercise that day. But anyway, I digress there too, right? No, I appreciate you recognizing that, and yeah, Jason, I do. I love what I do, and I love having these conversations, and feel really, really just privileged, whatever the word is, blessed to be able to have these opportunities. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So tell us about you.
Yeah.
How did you grow up to be in HR?
Well,
Nicole said your
every
magic trick.
child's dream,
Nicole said
every
your
child's
magic.
dream. Every
Nicole said
child's
your
dream.
magic trick is working for UKG and not Workday, which I think is an interesting comment, just because that's your tattoo behind you there says UKG.
Yeah.
That's not why she's smiling, I don't believe. But,
we love
anyway,
Workday, we integrate anyway. No, I feel like yes, I do work for UKG. I do. Prior to UKG, I've been at UKG about 6.5 years. Prior to UKG, I was an HR VP at a nonprofit for 17 years. I want to say I started when I was 12, but I didn't. I built an HR department from scratch when I was 23 years old. There was no HR. I built it, I scaled it. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was in grad school at the time for human resources. And the way I got into HR was I was an English major in undergrad, and I graduated, and my dad said, well, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. He's like, you should get a master's degree. I said, okay. And what? He's like, HR. I said, what's that? And then we still ask ourselves that question today.
Right.
And so the rest is sort of history. Throughout I was HR department of one for a very long time. And then I got to hire some people to help as the organization grew. But in addition to that, what I did was I created a lot of relationships and networked a lot, right, in order to sort of build my network of friends, HR friends, and I truly am a real big believer that we are, our network can really help us, move mountains, sort of like what you guys are doing here. I also am a teacher. I've been teaching HR for 18 years. I did start that when I was 27.
Wow.
And that's something that I continue to do. I teach in the program that I graduated from. So it's a lot of fun. It's, people say, how do you have time to teach? I say, I don't have time to teach, but I'm able to do it online, which is really helpful. So I make the time because I think it's important to help really understand. I learn so much from my students. I get to understand what they're going through. And I have people in all stages of life in my courses, right? Some people just graduating, some people that are making career changes. A lot of teachers go into HR. And I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's who I am. I live in Maryland, grew up in Philadelphia. Go Phillies, go Eagles. That's enough about me.
Well, I'm curious to know what HR students are. And I mean, Jason's actively teaching as well, not HR students, but what are people who are intentionally pursuing HR today? What are they pursuing? What's the perception of the function? I'm so curious.
Business.
Yeah.
Business.
Great question.
And I think that, there's more of a business focus. And when I started teaching, it was human resources development. And now the program is human resources management. Completely different, right? The same, but different. And, students want to go into all sorts of different professions, right? I mean, there's so much we can learn from HR just globally, and so many different fields that you can get into. I mean, think of all of the different titles that fall under HR, right?
Oh my God.
Like, I even say to managers, I was like, you're HR too, right? I mean, the functions is, if you're working with people, if you're dealing with people, you're doing HR things. But a lot of my students have gone on to talent management, to recruiting. The other really interesting part of what I do in school in McDaniel College is I teach HR for nonprofit and public organizations outside of an HR program. So I'm in a human services management program, and every single student, and this is true, a majority say to me, I had no idea that HR did all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm changing perceptions one person at a time. But yeah, I mean, it really runs the gamut in terms of what people are looking for, but I would say it's much more business focused than it had been in the past. So
I love that. Thank God. It's time.
So Julie, I want just along those lines, I want to push on that for a second, because it's kind of interesting, because what I'm doing is teaching business and trying to help them have a human lens to it at the same time. And I think that the two need to meet. When you think about that concept of, and whether it's a nonprofit or whether it's for profit, and everyone's talking about, and we all wear our vendor or our day job tags on us as well, AI and machines, you know, how we in my class last night, we had a huge conversation about jobs and what jobs are still relevant and what jobs are going to go away. And these 21-year-olds, most of mine are 21 and 22-year-olds, like, what are they going to do? I mean, and it's a true concern. It's a true, like, deer in the headlights, like, I'm scared. Um, are you starting to have those conversations and the impact of it on business yet?
Yes, we are. Yes, AI has impacted literally everything. And I don't know about you, I've had to change my entire courses because of AI. I've had
Oh,
to
yeah, yeah.
literally change my entire syllabi because of AI and allowing students to utilize AI. But in the conversations that we're having, there is definite fear there. And so much of that fear depends upon the algorithms that my students are getting in their social feeds,
Oh,
right?
interesting.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And because your social feed is different from my social feed, is different from anybody on this discussion social feed, right? It's all based upon our behavior. So the truth that you see may not be the truth that I see. I really think that's an interesting concept, not just when it comes to things like AI, but when it comes to every kind of point of view. To recognize, yes, we do need to be more human, and also recognize that your reality may not be my reality. And that's something I've been learning more and more. My students, the way that AI comes up for them is, well, I don't know if I should even apply for that because this job may not be available in 2 years. I don't know what the answer to that is. I don't know what the answer to that is. And I'm not sure anybody can tell you the answer to that. AI is moving so quickly. Technology moves so quickly. One of my favorite quotes is the pace of change is so fast, is faster than ever, and it's never going to be this slow again. Right. And that was Justin Trudeau in 2018. Shout out to my Canadian friends. Not trying to get political. Okay. But the pace of change is so fast, never going to be this slow again. That's the same with technology. We're always going to have to catch up to technology. So I think that there really is something to when it comes to AI, and people ask, well, how do you future proof your job? You don't. You can't. All you can do is prepare yourself.
Yes.
So one of the things that I've been doing is talking about how to my audiences, I talk a lot about how people should think about taking some personal responsibility on upskilling and reskilling themselves, in addition to corporations providing the learning, providing the resources for people to learn. There's so many free courses online. I did a LinkedIn post several months ago now. I took a free AI course from the University of Maryland. That was a 10-hour long course, gave me a certificate at the end, totally free.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I always say, no one's coming to save us when it comes to AI.
Yep.
Yeah. And Julie, oh, sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, Julie. So it's interesting because it's the course that I teach is on entrepreneurship, and the traits. Some people call them skills. I'll call them traits. The traits that I try to get people across are what's needed to be an entrepreneur is what's needed to work inside a company today.
Yep.
You need to be an entrepreneur, which is basically an entrepreneur inside a company that is willing to take risks, that's willing to challenge the status quo, that's willing to have agency to learn on your own, et cetera, et cetera. And there's still, I don't know if what you see in your in your employment and with your customers, but I'm still seeing a ton of people waiting for, like, well, we'll wait till the HR department trains us, or we'll wait till IT rolls out some training. And I'm like, you guys, you're gonna wait yourself into irrelevance.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. I mean, yeah, UKG provides us a lot of AI training resources, which, I'm extremely grateful for, but I never see that as being the end all be all. I recognize that there are other things out there in addition to what my employer provides. But yeah, so I think that taking personal responsibility for your learning, in addition to what your employer may provide you in terms of training, is always the way to think. And I'm not sure that we always think that way. Now, it's funny, you mentioned earlier about the young folks, Gen Z, right? I think what I'm seeing is that they are thinking in that entrepreneurial mindset more so than I'm a proud Gen Xer. I just don't care because I'm apathetic. But I think there are some generational nuances, but it's also about what people have grown up with. Those 20-year-olds, 21, 22, whatever, they don't know a world without
Right.
online learning. They don't know a world without, name whatever it is that you want to name. So I think that that's important to recognize too. Maybe as we continue to move on and AI continues to be a part of our everyday lives at work, especially, people will start to realize, okay, yeah, I have to do something here.
Yeah.
You have to be
I
interested.
agree. I look at my own kids who had to learn how to navigate school during COVID times, and it very much shifted to a self-service model where they accessed their classes and their teachers in all of their portals. They can see their grades in real time. I don't remember, unless I went and snuck a peek at the teacher's grade book, I don't remember having like real-time access to my grade, like whether or not a piece of homework was turned in yet and the impact, like everything is real time, self-service, it's online, it's on demand, even though they now go into a classroom for in-person instruction again, unless they've chosen a hybrid option. So I think observing what we sort of pushed down into the coming generations, like they're only going to carry that forward, sort of that way of thinking that it would feel strange to them to not have agency and access and self-service and that kind of thing. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, so I want to pull on that thread with both of you, both what Julie said and what Jess said. Wow, we've got the J's here.
Mhm.
But so back to what you just said, Jess, and then Julie, what you said, whose job is it going to be? And Julie, I'm going to point this to you, to actually work. I know that's a weird,
No,
that's a huge question. I totally get it. But there's people, they're like, well, we're waiting for HR. I'm like, there's no one trained in HR to even do that, which gets me back to the question, are you training people in class to rework work? Or is this going to be young people that are going to come in and have a revolution over older people and say, like, hey, we know how to rework work because we've got agency, we've been forced to do it this way, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to rework work. We just don't have any domain knowledge. It's a really fascinating mess.
Here's a hot take. I think they already are trying to do that, but there's still people of older mindsets in charge and they're getting pushback. And that's why you see so many issues. I mean, you can look at return to office as one of the things, right? I mean, that's a really low hanging fruit thing to bring up, but
it's a great example. Why it's
yeah. But they're saying, no, we can work this way, right? You've seen that we can work this way. Why do we have to come back? Now, I'm not giving an opinion either way, right? I think that it's definitely nuanced by culture, by organization, by geography, all of that kind of thing. But I think the other thing that's so interesting when we talk about the younger generations, and I think about my niece Aubrey, she's about to turn 10. And during COVID, she was in kindergarten. And I said, oh gosh, I hope somebody's doing research on this generation of the COVID kids, if you will, because what kind of worker are they going to be? I think they're going to be extremely resilient. They're going to know what they want, and they're going to want to have technology at their fingertips. And not only that, have autonomy when it comes to technology. And I think that they're going to be extremely malleable. They're going to be extremely creative, because when you think about it, like her kindergarten experience was in person, and then all of a sudden, nope, remote, and then back to in person, and then nope, back to remote. Like
So
it
that's
was
just built in that malleable component
yeah.
into these people.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think there's another fascinating conversation there about what kind of workers those kids are going to be.
Do you
And
think like all this stuff, like what's happening in Minneapolis
yeah,
and the social feeds and all of that is also making them malleable as well? I mean,
yeah,
I try to talk to my kids who are older, 18 and 21, about the fact that I used to like to find out that something happened at Jess's kid's school. I'd have to maybe read the paper 2 days later.
yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe read the paper 2 days
right.
later. Now I find out about it before the school even knows about it.
Exactly. I mean, that's the world that we're living in, and it's only going to get faster. And again, there's conversations here that go on so many different levels regarding mental health and what that does to our mental health. Too much knowledge, right? I mean, we can all, for those of us who remember, we can all think of simpler times when we could go on vacation and really not even consider that we're going to check email or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just not realistic. I recently went on vacation, and I had to literally deliberately do it. Like I'm not going to check anything. I had to make a statement about it. I posted on LinkedIn about it, because if you don't post on LinkedIn, did it really happen? And and it's like what so many different things. But that's not to say that technology is bad, right? Because
Right.
what we're talking about here, I think more so is when we look at the workplace understanding and allowing employees to provide feedback, as an example, via technology. Like when people go to work, they don't want to go back in time in terms of the technology that they're using, HR and otherwise. And when it comes to AI, it's also very important for organizations to be transparent about how AI is being used. We have research at UKG that shows that there's a gap there between trust in AI versus trust in how the company is utilizing AI, right?
Mhm.
And not understanding. So there's questions there about bias. There's questions about all sorts of fairness things. So yeah, I think it's important. Yeah, and I see in
Yeah,
the comments, factually accurate. That's absolutely right.
totally.
Yeah.
Julie, what you just said, that's why I have been thinking and writing so much about the value exchange. And by that, I mean technology and work, for that matter, should not take more than it can give back. And this
Yep.
goes beyond like WIFM, like what's in it for me. It literally should not extract more than it delivers value to people. And that goes for how we design work. That's why we have burnout culture. Didn't your report say like some crazy percentage of people are reported burnout in 2025? It was like a higher number than even I knew to expect. And I look at this stuff all the time. Like, why
Yeah.
are we extracting from people? Take. That goes for technology, AI, and all the trust and transparency that comes with it. And literally how work is designed, and we give nothing back or very little back.
Yeah.
That is an uneven value exchange, and it is and will break,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
good because we get to rebuild, but I hope we rebuild with that in mind.
We have to intentionally rebuild with that in mind. And I think also, we talk a lot at UKG, and we focus very closely on the frontline worker. And that's one of our studies that we just put out regarding a global study of about 8,200 frontline workers across 10 different countries. And what we found is that, frontline workers, they make up about 80% of the workforce, but they don't feel supported. And that statistic that you were talking about, didn't your survey find? Think about hospitality workers. Nearly 6 in 10 of them, they say that their schedule does not make a healthy lifestyle possible.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know. And again, you go back to the conversation that we've been having here just about about everything else going on in the world, right? Work shouldn't cause more stress in
Right.
my opinion, right? Or
Right.
what can we as employers do to provide frontline workers with flexibility with their schedule, as an example?
Mhm.
Help with financial education, it's really just about supporting people. And 76% of frontline workers themselves that in our survey said that they were burnt out in 2025.
80% of the global workforce is frontline, and 76% of them are burned out. Yeah. That's insanity to me that we can't solve this problem.
Well, think about too the ramifications of not understanding how your workers are feeling, because EX and CX, employee experience, customer experience, are very closely aligned. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking at frontline workers who oftentimes are providing services for people,
including healthcare, by the like, not that hospitality isn't mission critical, but like these are the important people doing important work.
Extremely important work. And again, there's more conversations there about feeling appreciated. I always say, remember during COVID when there were signs talking about heroes and how, the people who were running the grocery stores were heroes? Where did that go?
Yeah. Aren't they still heroes? Yeah. Essential workers. They're essential. We said they were essential.
Exactly. And, that's why, UKG, we do surveys like this. We provide studies and information for employers to recognize that they are burnout. And so much of this is about flexibility, and that people don't feel like they have any autonomy in when they work and where they work and what shifts they work and all of that. And part of that is because I think there's a disconnect between the conversations that managers are having with frontline workers and what those conversations are about. It's difficult. I was at actually one of our customers yesterday in Tampa, and I went to their safety day. Long story short, right? And there were about 500 people in the room, and this gentleman on stage, the CEO of the company, called out one of the managers, and he said, "So and so, stand up because I want to recognize this." And I want you to listen to this. He had this manager stand up, and he recognized him for saying every morning to his people, "How are you doing?" Oh, that's what
Jason. Is that manager Jason? Because he's the best.
Yeah, I mean but think about how simple that is. How are you doing? Now, let's say you have a dispersed workforce, right? Perhaps you can do that. How are you doing? Utilizing HR technology too, right? Yeah. So providing managers the ability to, that's radical in some companies. You're absolutely right. Providing managers the ability to talk to and reach their people, especially frontline workers, is vital. It's absolutely vital. So, yeah.
One of the things, Julie, that I saw in your mega trends report that I really, really loved, I hadn't thought much about this yet. I would have arrived there eventually, I'm sure, was the concept of enablement. 26 will require enablement. Will you explain how that unfolds?
Yeah. So our third megatrend, so just briefly, our three megatrends: the people first AI imperative, the talent ecosystem reality, and the employee enablement era. So beyond engagement, beyond the perks, beyond all of those things, it's about whether work really works for people. Do they have clear schedules? Do they have fair pay? Do they have easy access to information? Do they have ability to manage their work life mobily, right? And this matters, right? Especially in the front line, because a lot of frontline workers are saying that there are two different cultures at work. Right? Yeah. They're saying that they are treated one way and their white collar colleagues are treated another way. So again, think about that, right? I feel like it's a definite reality, but when it comes to enablement, people need to feel supported. Like they need to have a performance review, and they need to have access to goals. They need to, when I say they need to have a performance review, I mean one that actually matters, right? And I feel like
what you just said, one that actually matters. You're not just completing a workflow and a required HR cycle and getting your year-end stuff done. One that actually matters. Oh my God.
Yeah, not checking a box. Yeah. And I feel like it's very easy to do. I got to be honest, I'm guilty of it, right? I mean, I remember back in my time managing, sometimes you don't want to, I don't have time to do this or whatever, right? But that's something I think that HR and others in organizations can really enable managers by providing them insight into understanding their workforce. Imagine managers having a dashboard that they could go look at every morning and also have sentiment analysis to find out how their people are doing on a day-to-day basis. If there are hundreds and hundreds of employees and managers can't go to each person, you have that, Jason? Go ahead. What were you
chomping at the bit? Something you just said sparked something in Jason.
No. What sparked me is like, and Julie, what did you say you've been teaching? 17 years?
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
18 years?
Yeah.
Like we can do all this. Like, why are we not doing what? Like, sorry. Like,
ban for your workforce.
Let's just say we're going to keep all the other shit the same in HR.
Yeah.
But like, what if we said that this one little performance thing that drives enablement is actually the thing that we actually take action on? Like,
yes.
What? Like, is it? I mean, how does it happen that we teach this stuff, we talk about this stuff, but then every year it's the exact same freaking thing over and over and over? Like, why does it not? Why can't we change it?
It drives me insane. I oftentimes I feel like I'm just repeating what I always say and repeating what I always say and repeating what I always say. It's just in a different societal context of whatever's going on in the world at the time. I think that's obviously a very difficult question to answer, but one of the answers is that I think that it's more about process, and organizations not having clear processes in place and easy processes in place for managers to be able to provide accurate performance reviews. And part of that is because they don't have tools at their fingertips to write in notes throughout the year, as an example. Right.
Yeah.
And when it's time, but there's a whole other conversation there too about how a lot of organizations are going away from the yearly review, which I think is a good thing because people want to have immediate feedback. Why am I going to wait a year to tell you that you're doing a good or bad job? Right. It's like, I don't know. How do we get it right, Jason? Can you fix it?
Well, I mean, it's going to require us to do that. And I think that, I want to go to Daryl's question because Daryl had a question for you, Julie, that I think was really interesting. Do you believe that AI will help having one that actually matters? A lot of people managers were thrown into leading people without being ready. Will AI will AI help by being there, at least as a point of reference? And I have to say, like, I was on a call with a client earlier and I'm using AI to help me listen better. As someone who struggles listening, I do struggle listening. I'm first one to admit it. Like, I am using AI to help me. I'm using AI to help me listen to people more and what they say and understand their perspective better. So I think that the technology is no longer, I mean, I hate to blame technology for anything, but I think technology for sure is not the barrier now, and technology is the helper now. So what do we need to do? I know you asked me, but what do we need to do to actually get people to say enough is enough? And let's change it.
Yeah. Probably involves a lot of upskilling, and
it's probably not comp, like, let comp be comp.
Yeah. I think we also have to, it involves, it's difficult to answer that question on a macro level because it involves culture change at companies that have different cultures and have different hierarchies, I mean, but again, it's, to me, so many of these conversations, we can take a microphone and drop it and say, just talk to people, just communicate, because
oh my, the most radical idea I've ever heard, Julie.
I know.
What if we talk to people?
I don't know. Yeah, I see, John. Perhaps we need to train people how to listen, teach the teachers. Yes. Ongoing training and bite-sized training. This same company I was at yesterday does micro trainings for their employees. They have thousands of them. They had one employee take over 600 micro trainings.
I love it.
Right? I mean, that's crazy. But crazy in a good way. This is somebody, and you know what that does? That's a signal to those people that this person cares, and oh, maybe we should give this person some more responsibility, right? Again, technology. Here's the other problem. Technology is not the problem. Lack of technology could be, but also it's trying to fit antiquated processes into new technology.
Yes.
When you download an app on your phone, you don't try to get that app to do something that app is not created for. You have to adapt to what that app's capabilities provide for you, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So there's so much to unpack here. I mean, we have a lot of resources at ukg.com, and I know that in the chat there's a lot of resources that are being shared. I think the other issue with all of this is that it feels like we're trying to move a mountain because we are. I think HR especially needs to look at micro wins. I always try to encourage HR leaders and people who are trying to make transformation or trying to spark transformation that you should set dates for yourself, set goalposts for yourself. I'm going to do XYZ by this date. Just do something. Just do something to make a change. I'm trying to do that in my personal life. I gotta be honest, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
I just, Rachel's on here. I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday around sprints. Literally, like deliver transformation in sprints, just like you deliver software and releases. What if we adopted some of that mindset? It's good thinking. Use good thinking for what you're trying to accomplish. Is that if you need an agile methodology, then go agile. But there's ways to do this. It's not that hard, is it?
It's not. And yeah, it's not. But what's hard is starting. And there's conversations too about who owns this, because the answer is yes. All of us own it in some way. But going back to AI itself, will it help those performance conversations? Yes, only if we use it responsibly.
Yes. And don't over rely on it. It's not going to do your job. You still have to have the conversation and understand people and what the means to the end is. Like, what's the end goal here?
It's the same thing where I used to have managers come to my office saying so-and-so did something wrong. I said, okay, well, you had a conversation with them. Well, no, we texted.
Right.
No, you need to, we need to keep the humanity. I always say that those organizations that find the balance between technology and humanity are going to be the ones that get ahead and stay ahead. Yeah. And it is a balance, and it's not always easy to find that balance, but it takes voices as well. I feel like there's so many of us, regardless of your role, HR or otherwise, this transcends HR. If you see something, say something, right? Yeah. But again, that goes to cultural issues, because a lot of people don't feel confident. They feel like they're going to get in trouble for speaking out, for using their voices.
Yeah. Culture. I so agree. Culture is transformation. If you're doing cultural transformation, you are doing no transformation at all, period.
Yeah.
Julie, I have a question.
Makes me, see, he always steals the mic drop. Go for it. Julie, I'm going to warn you right now. He's going to ask like the biggest, hairiest question yet.
So we're going to end because people leave early.
Yes.
And I get that people have to leave early, but we're going to start something in 2026. Like, I'm all for what Julie's thing of big wins. I'm just going to create a big win right here. Okay. At the end of every episode, we're going to have our guest say, what is the thing that keeps you smiling?
Ooh, I like it.
So, Julie, I watched a whole plane of people do doom scrolling all morning. And I was like, oh my God, these people, like, they have to be so depressed when they get off the plane. What is the thing that keeps you smiling?
The thing that keeps me smiling is that I feel like my work and UKG's work provides me purpose, because I feel like if I can help make work just a little bit better for one person, then I would have done my job for the day. What keeps me smiling is that I feel like I have a purpose in what I'm doing. That's number one. From a professional perspective. From a personal perspective, it's the new dog we just got. His name's Rocky, and he's a Boston Terrier. And it's not my dog; it's my girlfriend Rachel's dog, but it's sort of my dog, and that's what keeps me smiling right now. So he's a Boston Terrier. He's amazing. But I was a cat person my whole life, but yeah, I mean, what keeps me smiling is also recognizing that we are all in this together, and also not all of us are in the same kind of boat. We're all in the same boat, but not the same kind of boat. Some people are on yachts, some people are on dinghies, some people lost the boat a long time ago and they're just treading water. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way today.
Yeah.
So every person that I interact with, I really try to keep that in mind. And I do feel for both of you and everybody else in Minneapolis and Portland and all over the place. Worldwide.
Julie, thank you for being here. I have to read one that I don't think everyone can see. There's one person here that's been writing it. She's only been going to the host and panelists. And she said, waking the kids up to Party Up by DMX, and then dancing in the kitchen while packing lunches and eating breakfast.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And I just have to say, yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's a great new segment to add, Jason. Thanks for starting it with Julie.
I had so much fun talking to both of you, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in. I could talk about this stuff for hours because I do, right? I do talk about this stuff for hours.
Once in a while, we just record it.
Yeah. So thank you for the opportunity, and please visit ukg.com. Also, ukg.com/podcast. I have a new podcast.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's called When Work Works. So
I love it.
Did I just say that? What are you doing to make work work? I think I just said something like that. I love it.
You might have.
Oh, we're going to make sure we promote that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Perfect first guest of 2026, and Happy New Year, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Thanks, Julie.